Welcome! In a previous explainer, we talked all about the famous marshmallow test, and it showed us something pretty incredible, right? That being able to control our impulses can lead to some seriously positive outcomes down the line for our health, our success, and even how long we live. So that's the what. We know impulse control is a superpower, but the big question has always been the how. How do we actually get better at it? Whether it's resisting the urge to snap at someone or just putting down your phone to get some work done, what's the first step? Well, it turns out the most effective first step isn't about having more willpower or gritting your teeth. It's actually something much quieter. It's just noticing the emotion that's bubbling up underneath that impulse. And today, we're going to dive into a really powerful, science-backed way to do just that. So, is there a simple trick, a proven method that helps us tune into what we're feeling in the moment and get a little bit of that control back? Oh, you bet there is. It's a technique called affect labeling. And honestly, it is as simple as it sounds. It's just the act of putting your feelings into words. I know, it almost sounds too simple to work, but stick with me because the neuroscience behind this is absolutely fascinating. To really get why this works, we need to take a quick peek under the hood, inside our own brains. It turns out there's this kind of constant tug of war going on between two very important regions. So first up, meet your amygdala. You can think of this as your brain's super fast, super sensitive, emotional alarm system. The second it sniffs out any kind of threat, and that could be a real danger or, just a stressful email, it just goes off, flooding you with that fight or flight feeling. And playing for the other team, we have a part of your prefrontal cortex. Let's just call it the brain's rational brake pedal. If the amygdala is the gas, this is the brakes. Its job is to think, to reason, and to put a pause on those knee-jerk impulses. So you've got this constant dance going on, right? The emotional alarm goes off instantly, and then the rational brake pedal kicks in a moment later to think things through. The real magic of emotional control happens when we help these two parts talk to each other more effectively. And this is where the science just gets so cool. A groundbreaking study found that the simple act of putting feelings into words, just naming them, actually quieted down the amygdala. Let that sink in. Just finding a word for an emotion was enough to tell the brain's alarm system, hey, stand down. But how? How can a few simple words have such a huge impact on our brain's wiring? Let's trace the exact path and see how this brain-breaking system actually works. It's a really elegant process. So, step 1, something happens that triggers an emotion. Step 2, your alarm, the amygdala, starts blaring. You feel that surge of anger or anxiety. But then, and this is the key part, you pause and you label it. You just think to yourself, I'm feeling anxious. That simple thought activates your rational brain, which then literally sends a signal back to the amygdala telling it to chill out. And the results are just, wow. You can literally see it in brain scans. In the study, when people just looked at an upsetting picture, their amygdala lit up like a Christmas tree. But when they were asked to put a label on the emotion in the picture, look at that drop. That activity went way down. It's like naming the monster under the bed takes away its power. So if you remember one thing, let it be this. There's this inverse relationship. When you fire up your rational brake pedal by naming an emotion, you automatically pump the brakes on your emotional alarm. It's that simple. The act of observing and naming changes everything. Okay, so the science is solid, which is great, but how do we actually use this in our messy, day-to-day lives? Let's talk about how you can take this technique out of the lab and put it to work for you, like right now. The best part about this is you really can't get it wrong. You don't need a huge vocabulary. The next time you feel that emotional wave starting to build, just pause and state it, even if it's just in your own head. Okay, I'm feeling really frustrated by this. Or I noticed that I'm feeling anxious about this meeting. That's it. That's the whole move. Now, this is a really important point. This is not about pushing your feelings down or pretending they don't exist. It's the total opposite. You're turning to face the feeling, looking it in the eye, and just acknowledging it's there. And that simple act of acknowledgement is what puts you back in the driver's seat. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. We're all taught that managing our emotions takes this massive amount of willpower, like we have to wrestle them into submission. But what if the most powerful tool we have is actually much quieter, much simpler? What if it's not about fighting the feeling at all, but just about giving it a name?